The pale morning light seeped through Ivory's bedroom window as she sat at the edge of her bed, feet planted on the floor, hands resting loosely in her lap. Her dark brown hair hung loose and slightly tangled around her pale face, but her posture was steadier than it used to be. Her brown eyes rested on the hardwood floor in front of her, not avoiding it, not searching for escape, just present. Outside, cheerful birdsong floated through the open air, punctuated by the soft rattle of a bicycle rolling past. Ivory glanced up in time to see a kid toss a newspaper onto a neighbor's porch, the paper landing with a dull thump before the bike disappeared down the street. Her black cell phone buzzed on the white wooden nightstand. Ivory reached for it without urgency, silenced the vibration with a tap, and slipped it into a small black clutch bag. She slung the strap over her shoulder and stood, exhaling slowly as she crossed the room and looked out the window again. A soft knock came at her bedroom door. Ivory turned. "Hey," Louisa said, already pushing it open. She stood in the doorway, wearing a simple black dress that matched Ivory's, her blonde curls pulled back neatly, eyes tired but alert. "You're already up?" Ivory asked, a hint of teasing in her voice. Louisa shrugged. "Couldn't sleep much." Ivory smiled faintly and shrugged as well. "Yeah, me neither." Ivory sat back down on the bed. Louisa stepped inside and joined her. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The silence wasn't heavy, just quiet. Louisa glanced around the room, lips twitching into a smile. "Your room's still messy." Ivory scoffed. "It's not messy. I know where everything is." "You can know where everything is, and it still be messy," Louisa said, laughing. Ivory bumped her shoulder lightly. "Rude." Louisa grinned, then stood. "Come on, breakfast." "You're always thinking about food," Ivory said, rolling her eyes. "Well, it is morning," Louisa replied. "You can't blame me." She paused in the doorway, her smile fading just a little. She locked eyes on something on the ground near Ivory's desk. She walked over and reached down to pick it up. It was a black hoodie, one that had seen better days, but still soft, as it had a large open cut in the fabric on the front, just below the left shoulder. Louisa gently ran her fingers over it. I had a dream about them again last night," she said quietly. Ivory's chest tightened, but she nodded. "Me too," she said, as her eyes drifted from her sister to the floor. Louisa swallowed, eyes shining, then slipped out into the hall. Ivory stayed behind. Her gaze drifted slowly around the room. The walls were still covered in her drawings, years of them. Early scribbles, dark shapes that once frightened her. Newer pieces layered over old ones. Vast landscapes, careful lines, color where there used to be none. Her eyes lingered on a crocodile standing upright in a ridiculously bright tropical shirt, glasses perched on his snout. A white hamster holding a berry up to the sky with confidence. A rabbit with a basket of bread. And finally, a large bald eagle facing away, its head turned back, as if uncertain whether to leave or stay. Ivory breathed in, then she looked at her desk. Papers were scattered across it, sketches half finished. In the center sat the tin box, open now, one she once thought she had lost for good. Sleek, dark metal. Inside, colored pencils that had finally begun to dull from use. The lid lay face down beside it. Ivory walked over, picked it up, and turned it over to reveal an envelope still attached, unopened. Her own name was written in cursive across the front. The heart in the O stared back at her, unchanged. She peeled the envelope free and held it for a moment. Her breathing stuttered as she took a deep breath and opened it. "My sweet Ivory, I wish I could sit beside you and tell you this in person, but I hope these words can still find you when you need them. Although I won't always be there the way you want me to be, you will continue to grow, learn, and inspire. That part of your story doesn't stop here. It never does. As you grow, you'll discover more about yourself, emotionally, mentally, and in ways you wouldn't even have words for yet. Some days will feel steady, others will feel like roadblocks you couldn't get around. But those obstacles aren't there to stop you. They're there to help you become stronger than you already are. There will be times when emotions feel overwhelming. When that happens, don't be afraid of them. Feeling deeply is part of who you are, and it is something beautiful. Remember that you don't have to walk every step alone. You have people around you who love you and want the best for you, even on the days you forget that. Always remember who you are and what your dreams are, and hold on to the things that make you feel alive. Protect the parts of yourself that are kind and curious. I am so proud of you, and remember, you are brave, you are strong, and you are beautiful. Until we meet again, Mom." Ivory clutched the letter carefully and held it against her chest. Tears had quietly formed and fell, leaving trails down her cheeks. The words didn't feel like something she had to avoid, suppress, or survive. They felt like something she could carry, or rather, something that would help her carry. She heard Louisa calling her name from downstairs. Ivory took one last look at her room, the drawings layered with years of becoming, the scattered papers on her desk, the tin box that had carried so much weight for so long. She placed the letter carefully inside, folded just right, then closed the lid with a quiet click and slid it into the desk drawer. Not to hide it away, but to give it a home. She stood there a moment longer, letting the stillness settle in her chest. She was sad. She knew she always would be, in some way. But the sadness no longer felt sharp or endless. It felt shaped now and understandable. She missed them, but she wasn't lost anymore, because she understood something now that she hadn't before. That life wasn't entirely lived in the light or the dark, but somewhere in between. In the quiet space where grief and love touched, where loss didn't erase what came before it, and moving forward didn't mean leaving everything behind. Ivory rested her hand on the doorframe and took a steady breath. The future still waited, uncertain, messy, full of moments she couldn't yet imagine. And for the first time, that didn't scare her because she was ready. Ivory turned off the light, softly closed the door, and stepped forward.